Ahmed Saleh is one of the original organizers of Egypt's April 6th movement, and he helped plan Egypt's Day of Rage. Saleh is quick to point out he is not a leader. He says it is the people themselves, truck drivers, grocers, students, factory workers, who brought down a regime that some thought would never fall. It is these people, he says, who should be the ones to decide what comes next in Egypt. Saleh was among the thousands of protesters who flooded Tahrir Square that first day. He was arrested and held in jail for 3 days, which earned him a broken nose. We sat down together on a park bench just across from the White House. He has come to Washington with a message.
Yes, I realize that this is a very important time for us to try to communicate clearly with the United States, because no one can deny the United States is a principal player in the affairs of Egypt. And we would like that the role that the United States played is actually on the right side, or not to ruin people's work and struggle, which had been full of sacrifices.
In a schedule that lasted only a few days, Saleh met with VIPs at the White House, the State Department, think tanks, government agencies, and NGOs. At each stop, he relays his vision for the future of Egypt, and he's calling on Washington to help Egyptians achieve it. Specifically, says Saleh, Egypt's military council needs to step outside of politics and return to the important job of leading the army and protecting the revolution.
The first and most important thing that the military council would go back to their barracks, so that there is a transitional government that can go along with the reforms such as a new constitution, not an amended constitution, that would ensure Egypt becoming a parliamentary republic, ensuring freedoms, ensuring rights for everyone, the true reforms, and so on and so forth.
The transitional government, says Saleh, should be made up of technocrats drawn from all of Egypt's political groups. And these should be appointed by the Club of Egyptian Judges. The club earned the people's trust and respect back in 2006 when it stood up to Hosni Mubarak and demanded an independent judicial system in Egypt. Saleh says it should be a transitional government, not a military council, that decides on a timetable for reforms. He says the United States is in a position to enforce that timetable and impose consequences if the transitional government fails. Egypt's military council has scheduled a referendum on constitutional amendments for March 19th. Saleh says this is too early, that Egyptians want to draft an entirely new constitution, something which takes time.
I believe that many people would resort to what they have always been resorting in front of things they don't like. They would just boycott the whole thing.
The military has scheduled parliamentary elections in June and presidential elections just 6 weeks later. Some in Egypt say this reflects the military's desire to quickly hand over power. Others, like Ahmed Saleh, are skeptical. He believes that holding elections too soon would not allow time for parties and candidates to organize.
There will be terrible consequences, because those who made the revolution will not be very happy at all with the results that may come out of this, which may lead to people losing faith in non-violence altogether. And this may start convincing some people that violence is an option that they should take, not only in Egypt, but all over the Arab world. This will be a dissolution to the whole thing, because it means that we failed.
But the good news, he says, is that he's found a receptive audience in Washington. He just hopes the Obama administration will decide to take advantage of the opportunity to help Egyptians achieve the democracy they have always wanted.